discuss about what are the current industry trends, what are your career aspirations and everything. So, shall we wait for someone or we should?
Start.
So what we can do is actually I was thinking for an introduction, but I think it's a slightly larger group for a detailed introduction. So what we'll do is we'll talk about you can tell me about your name and what is your career aspiration. So what is your career goal? What and your name and your career goal. So from where we should start? पीछे से कर लेते हैं क्यों? The reason behind this introduction is because I want to spend some time and I want to talk about how important it is to decide where you want to go or why it's important to have at least a goal in your life. So let's start from you only.
I am Aradhya and I aim to get into the field of finance after I graduate from here.
I'm Ayush. I want to be a data analyst, like in the field of artificial intelligence or data strategy and all.
My name is Gopal. I'm actually going into code research and methodology, but data analysis.
So whatever is your goal, you can tell me about it. And I'll be talking more about not only in terms of data analytics, but overall how or what all opportunities are there for you guys, because I think most of you would be in the pre-final year only, huh? You have at least a year to prepare for your full-time job and everything. So I think I can talk about few things which you can cover in coming few months or maybe in 1 year, so that you can try to achieve whatever you want to achieve in your career.
I'm on the.
So let's be practical. So I was sitting on the same benches 5 years back. So and we can get practical about our goals. So it's not at all bad to have a dream like this. That I want to earn X amount of money in let's say next 5 years. And then I can find out okay what shall I do. Let's get started first. Many of you want to go into the field of data analysis or otherwise start exploring. And why I want so I want to start with this because this is really critical in today's world. So let's those who are in third year right now only 1 year is left for you for your full-time job. So try to understand and take in this way that for example 4 years back you have cleared the India's toughest exam and you cleared IIT JEE and now you are sitting in the one of the top college in India, and the only reason was your focus. So and it's really important to have a focus in your life so that you can achieve your goal. So if you can spend some time, or let's say if I'll ask what would be the best output for today's session, for those who doesn't have any goal, I would request them, please try to introspect, please try to discuss and try to find out what goals you can have in your life. Because without goal, you can't achieve anything in your life. Once you will have focus, इस रूम में जो भी बैठा है ना, we can be rest assured that you are top 1% of India's talent. So if you are in top 1%, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. It's all about the focus. And I'm very confident about this that many of you won't follow my guidance, or maybe you will be in your own mode right now or on a different frequency right now, and you will not find okay what goal should I develop for myself. But it's really important to have a goal in your life, and it shouldn't be like very narrow goal, but at least okay what I have to do in let's say 2-3 years down the line, or in which sector I want to go. Because I heard from you, and that was the perfect goal someone can have. I want to go into financial sector. So let's say if someone wants to go into financial sector, then that particular person can start reading about that particular sector, and then he would be more aware about that sector. Because at the end of the day, let's say if you are doing a software development, or let's say you are doing data analytics, or in whatever functional area you would be, at the end of the day you will be supporting a particular business area and in particular industry. So for that particular industry, to having those industry knowledge is really important. So I think my first and foremost gyan for today's session would be have at least a goal. So and if I talk about how you can have a goal, So देखो यार, everyone can come and say, okay, let's have a goal, and it's very easy to say let's have a goal, but how to achieve, how to at least start with, or how to do goal setting. So if you search videos on YouTube, there are many videos on goal setting, that how to set your goals. So the one of the best part, so does someone want to tell how to do goal settings? How you can do goal setting? How you will say, okay, I want to go into particular sector, or let's say for particular industry. Any clue? So he is telling me read as much as possible, but from where to read? So this is the, I think, and this generally happens that those who are in the front rows would always be interested in few things. And I am telling you guys that this is not some Gyan session. So those who want to attend, they can leave right now. It's more of a discussion. I am here to discuss with you because I was sitting 5 years back on the same benches, and I felt that okay, if someone can mentor me, I can find out something in my life. So it's really important for you guys to understand that how to set your goals in your life. So, for example, what people generally do after 5 years down the line, let's say, if someone wants to do an MBA, you can see that for them, mostly the school, the first. Hello. Cool. So what I was saying that, let's say if someone wants to do an MBA, so for them the most important thing is to network with the right people. So for goal setting also, you have to know to whom you want to network. So for example, let's say if someone wants to go into field of data analytics, or let's say someone is not sure where he wants to go, but a particular person will find, okay, what 3 things I want to do in my life, or let's say what I really like doing it. For example, let's say if I talk about people who want to go into data analytics background, they can say, okay, I like working with numbers, or let's say if someone wants to go into a sales role, then a particular person will be good with people and everything. So for those people, they can go on LinkedIn and they can search for people in those sectors, and they can talk to them and they can ask what are their current roles. For example, let's say if I go to a person who is working in, let's say, ZS Associates. ZS is a pharma consulting firm. They use data analytics to find their clients' solutions. So then if you talk to those people, they will tell, okay, what is their daily routine or what type of work they do. Then you can find out, okay, whether those work, those aligns with your interest or not. And you have to talk to many people. Let's say if you are, and I can assure you that after 6 months you will find the difference. So once you will invest your 6 months, or let's say 3-4 months, when you will network with many people, and so let's say if and there are multiple ways of networking with people also. So if you will just send a request on LinkedIn and you will ask, okay, what's your job role? No one gonna respond to that. So you have to ask the very pointed question that, okay, I am interested in financial sector. I have read this document. I have seen that you are working in financial sector for last 5 years. Now can you tell me what work you do every day, or what type of projects you solve every day? So then he will tell you, okay, I am doing this, and let's say investment banker will tell his experience, financial consultant will tell his experience. Then you can narrow down, okay, where I want to go. So there are 2 things in the life, those who are exploring right now, how you can explore. So the best way of exploring is talk to the people who are currently in those industries, try to know them, what they are doing, if that aligns with your interest, and try to find out internship in those sectors in this summer. And then if you find interest while working there, then finally you can look for your full-time job in those organizations. So that's the best way to find out how to do the goal setting and how to find job in your current role. So now I'll talk about data analytics specifically. So what understanding you guys have of data analytics? So I heard many of you are interested in data analytics. So someone from the back bench is anyone interested in data analytics, the field of data analytics? Okay. Can you please tell me from your perspective what data analytics means to you?
So basically data analytics comprises of basically data analytics comprises of organizing the data, applying different models and predicting the trend from it. What is going to happen in the near future, the prediction basis is the most thing what happens with data. And what is happening, you can also identify that.
Yeah, you are somewhat correct. So the core purpose of data analytics in today's world is to help decision making. So for example, I have to take any decision. So let's say if I have to take a sales decision whether I want to launch a particular product or not, then I'll see the viability of that product and I will see what market share that product will capture, and I'll comment from the past data or the historical data that okay, whether I want to launch this product or not. Or for example, a very simple decision I want to take that attendance is compulsory these days or not? 75%. Cool. So maybe the 1 week is left and you have attendance of 85%, then you can take a decision based on your data that okay, now I can escape few classes, or you can miss your morning classes based on those decisions. So it's very simplified. You need those lenses where you can in very simple manner you can read from the data and you can take out the insightful information from it and you can take decisions. So in today's world, I would say data is significantly used in decision making at various sources. And what you were saying initially that data management and everything. So I think data has three aspects of it. The first and foremost is first of all how to segregate the data or how to gather data or the information at a particular point. Their data management and everything, the technical job comes into the picture where software developer build the backend there and where we can store our data. The second aspect is we need some queries from where we can take out the portion of data, because once you will be storing the data, let's say we can take a simple example, let's say transaction, let's say online transactions. There are multiple online transactions happening every hour. So what we can do is there will be a database management where all the transactions will get stored. And now we need a queries to get some set of information. So now I want to see that okay, how many transactions are happening of let's say more than 10,000 rupees. For that I need a certain data out of it. Or let's say I need an information that on weekends how many transactions are happening of more than 10,000 rupees. So for that I need a particular set of data. I don't need complete information from that complete data set. So I'll write a query and I'll get a smaller subset of the data into my system, and on those data I'll do all the insight, and finally the third portion would be where I'll be using those insights to take some decisioning or some actions out of it. So those are the basic use of data right now. And so anyone else want to tell what data analytics they mean? Yep. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What are your thoughts on data analytics? What do you think? What are the uses of data analytics, or how people are using data analytics in today's world?
Just like as you said, to analyze the information that we have in the past to make future decisions so that we have a better future. It can be in any sector.
Cool. And why data analytics is buzzword these days? Someone want to take a case that why people are using too much of data analytics in all the decision making, and why this is important in today's world?
Competition.
Competition? In what sense? Guys, this is not a session, this is more of discussion. So please involve yourself. We can discuss that why data is becoming too much of.
Because large amount of data is being collecting from Google, like Google is collecting large amount of data, people's information and storage is increasing day by day, and so to have insights from this data and how to have a personalized ads, like we can use data analytics for it.
Yep. What you are saying is correct. To summarize that thing, so the first and the foremost reason why data, everyone is using data for decision making is because it gives a different level of confidence. Because I would be more confident by taking those decisions because I have something to back on that. Okay, I have seen those trends and I want to take a decision in this way. The second reason is the tremendous amount of data is available. The everyday data is generated in a volumes and there are various ways from which we are getting the data. So the data is available also, and data gives a different confidence to senior leadership so that they can take a decision. Before I go into few of the projects of data analytics where we have taken some insightful decision based on data analytics, I would like to hear from you that what are your real world experience from the data analytics, let's say while using Amazon or while booking something on Paytm. Have you experienced anything with the power of data analytics that any corporate houses are using data analytics to solve your problem, or you have seen that okay, maybe it's helping you or not, but at the end of the organization is getting benefit out of it, you are getting more customized message or anything. I just want that you share your experiences of data analytics, please.
I feel that whenever we browse any shopping app or any Facebook app, I feel that the content is being modified according to my newsfeed and according to what products I am buying. Then if I go to Facebook, I search something, then the same advertising strategy, same thing is shown to me on Amazon. So I think such things are because of data.
Yep, you are correct. I have also seen the same thing, because let's say if I was searching for, let's say, a cricket bat, so I'll get the same ad on Facebook also that okay, you can purchase this from the Amazon. So this is happening. Yes, this is one of the examples. Any other example? And guys, feel free to share in Hindi also. I understand whatever language you want. Please be comfortable and share your thoughts. Any other thought? So I was talking to my flatmate other day, and I asked him that when the first time he's seen the let's say impact of data analytics or any decision making based on data. So he told me that he's from Punjab, and he was telling me when I travel to the roadway bus to my hometown, I always see there is a person who comes to an Ambala station or some station, and he sells magazines. And he is using analytics from a long time. I said, how? So he told me that whenever he comes to him, he will bring sports magazine or magazine which are more interested to him. And whenever he is taking those magazines to some female or anyone, he will talk more of Grosova or some other segment of magazine. So he is doing a sort of segmentation. So that's also something. So data is not only about taking decision on larger scale. It can be at very small level. So he gave me that example that whenever he see that when he collected, okay, this person has collected the data, he has found that during his previous journeys, he found that always young kids purchase, let's say, sports magazine or whatever, and the female candidates are more purchasing Grosova or whatever they find interesting. So, and according to the same way, he is doing his marketing. So now what he is doing is, he knows that okay, sales trends are in a particular way. Now I will optimize my efforts. So at the end of the day, let's say now I am bringing one example of here, how to use analytics in marketing and why to use analytics in marketing. So from here you can see that so let's say what's your name? Amit. So I can, let's say I have 10 magazines with me. I can offer all the 10 magazines to Amit. I will invest 1 second for each magazine, so I will invest my 10 seconds on Amit, and at the end of the day, Amit will purchase one magazine. And I have, let's say, 100 seconds with me, then I can talk to 10 people only. But let's say if I spend 5 seconds on Amit, then I can talk to 20 different people. I can increase my reach. So, and if let's say if I have to approach with my 5 product to Amit, I have to ensure that Amit should purchase any 5 out of 1. So for that I need some historical data about you or about my product, that okay, what are the sales trend. So once I have those sales trend, okay, let's say this 5 magazines interest, so Amit interest aligned with this 5 magazine, and let's say what's your name? So Gopal, and Gopal has an interest for this other 5 magazines, so I'll offer him different 5 and 5 different to him, and I will acquire both the customer, I will optimize my marketing efforts, and in the similar fashion I will able to achieve my customer. So so why I am giving this all layman example, because at corporate industry you will find that, and there will be presentations where people will be talking about serious case studies where they were working on billions of data and everything, and they will be taking a decision. But I am taking about very small examples so that you can connect to them, that the grassroots level, what magic people are doing with the help of data analytics. So this is what they do. Any other real life experience someone want to share which they have experienced from the field of data analytics?
जैसे अमूल मिल्क फैक्ट्री है या ब्रेड वगैरह वाली फैक्ट्री है,
हाँ।
अगर वो जैसे कम बनाएंगे तो वो भी खराब है, और ज़्यादा बना दिए तो भी खराब हो जाएगा। तो मतलब
Perfect. So what you are talking about is the optimization of supply chain based on requirements. So this is also I'll tell you honestly. So this is something is happening from many years. So this is not happening. So but this time with the help of data analytics or with the help of technology, what we can do is we can take decision very fast. It will be more real time decisioning. So let's say every day there won't be, so the supply chain mapping won't be 100%. Let's say there is a demand of 100 products and there is a supply, it can't be happen. But there will be some difference. So earlier it used to be 20% different. Now you will narrow down to 1%, 2%. You can optimize things. That's the power of data analytics. Any other example, guys? Any experiences or anything which you want to discuss, which you can connect with the data analytics? So if you don't have any experience, मैं बोलूँगा तो bore होंगे, because I will tell you new thing, and whenever you will listen new thing, you have a limited energy to absorb few things, new information. So you will start getting bored, and the time will, it would be done, the session would be over. Either if you will bring something, I will try to connect with the data analytics and you can get maximum out of it. कुछ तो बताओ मतलब, बताओ.
For example, Netflix recommendation system. When you watch any one movie, there comes a tab like similar movies for you, and there are many apps on which we listen songs. So for every song, there comes list similar songs for you. So they are also using analytics.
Recommendation engine. So recommendation engine is completely the Amazon, the Netflix, all the e-commerce sites are using this recommendation engine. They have their own tool. From their test data, they have learned. Okay, so there is a technique known as random forest. So what that technique do? So what that technique do is they take data from past. They try to find out, okay, what are the trends, and then they test data on the real data, and then they show those recommendations. Because, and then you will have your own model, and that model get the input from there, and it will get optimized by its own feedback. Let's say, for example, if I have found that, okay, a person who is watching BBQ Wines on YouTube will also want Mirzapur on Amazon Prime. That's the one insight or the hypothesis I have made. पता है BBQ Wines और मिर्जापुर नहीं पता है. So for example, those connections you have to make, and then you will find out, okay, no, people are also watching something else. So those are the recommendation engines work like that. So any other example you want to bring?
Cashback or discount offers. Cashback or discount offers on any app. If we say about Paytm, so if they give a cashback, so they must have researched about something like if we give cashback on this particular item, then we will get a different sale for that.
So what happening really is, yes. So the cashback market is a very old market. So the reward mechanism is there. So you have to reward your customers to make it a long-term relationship with your customer and to attach your customer with your particular brand. So there is some analytics behind there, but however, so this is a very nice example, and I want to spend 2 minutes here and I want to talk about it. So there are two things. So one is the data analytics where you can get insight out of data, and the second there would be some business leader who has some money in his pocket and who wants to invest his money. So he will say, okay, now I want to gather some insight from data, and final decision he will take based on his business judgment. So how much cashback I want to take. So that's depending on how much money he wants to earn also. So this is coming from data analytics, but also there is always a flavor of business judgment. You were saying that?
Sir, I was saying that the finance industries, including the investment banks and traders, use extensive data analytics to decide which stock to hold and sell.
So I think you have brought. I would really like to talk more about financial sector because I am working in that particular sector. So yes, in finance. So I tell to everyone the financial sector is a sector which is using data analytics from very long period. So I think from last 20-30 years they are using data analytics. So all the decisioning in financial sector they are doing, they are using from data analytics only. Whatever offerings they are using, whatever things they are doing. So for example, if any one of you is aware about insurance के बारे में पता है? देखो insurance नहीं पता तो चलो before insurance I think because insurance would be a business topic and it would be maybe little bit boring, so we can talk about Tinder before that. Tinder के बारे में पता है? तो मेरा एक फ्रेंड था गुड़गांव में, वो उसमें डेटा एनालिटिक्स लगा रहा था क्या? वो क्या करता था कि जब सीपी पे जाएगा ना तब अपनी रेंज और कम कर देता था, तो उसको लगता था कि वहां उसको उसकी तो वो अपनी एनालिटिक्स करता था। वो कहीं होता था तो किसी पर्टिकुलर एरिया में होगा तो वहां पे एज लिमिट बढ़ा देता था कि जहाँ उसको लगता था कि सोसाइटी है तो यहाँ पे करूँगा, वो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के पास जाता था तो एज लिमिट कम कर देता था और वो अपनी एनालिटिक्स करता था। तो उस तरह से भी आप लोग एनालिटिक्स कर सकते हो। तो आप लोग कोई अपना रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल देना चाहोगे? So let's talk about insurance now. So insurance business, I think it's a typical data-driven business. So let's say I'm taking insurance of 100 people. Out of this 100 people, let's say 20 people will claim for the insurance, and 100 people will pay for the insurance premium. And I have to pay back to only 20 people. So I will do that equation. So and how optimum your equation could be, you will better to give better offer to your customer. So what I mean here is, let's say मैं आप सबको बोलता हूँ कि आप for example आप लोगों को मैं life insurance करा देता हूँ। Let's say मैं 100 customers choose करता हूँ आप में से, and I'll say कि okay to all these 100 customers I'll ask you, let's say I'll give you life insurance, on your death I will pay you 1 lakh rupees, and let's say every year you have to pay me a premium of 10,000 rupees. And what is the probability that because you all are young, so there would be less probability that in next year someone would die. So there would be less probability. So let's say I'll say out of those 100, only 10 people are claiming the insurance in next 10 years. But what I would achieve out of 100 people, let's say in 10 years, I will get a premium of more than 10 lakh rupees. So if you do that maths, you will find out. And if you optimize that equation, as you optimize equation, you can reduce the premium price also. So let's say if you have heard of Policybazaar, they are India's one of the top insurance providers these days. So they are giving lifetime insurance at very cheap price. The reason behind this is because they have a tremendous amount of data and they want to claim those segments. So are you getting my point? So let me try to cover it this way. So for example, so in insurance business, if you are targeting the good customers, then you can always keep your premium down. But if you are targeting worse customer, let's say, so there are two pool of customers, pool A of 100 customer, pool B of 100 customer. In pool A, out of 100, 10 people are claiming the insurance. In pool B, out of 150 people are claiming the insurance. So for let's say the claim amount would be, let's say 1,000 rupees is the claim amount. So here I have to give 1000 to 10 people. So I have to give, let me use marker because. So here are 100 people. Here are 100 people. So let's say here 10 people are claiming the insurance. Here 50 people are claiming the insurance, and let's say claim amount is 1k. So here 10k would be the claiming amount, and here 50k would be claiming amount. So what I want to tell you here is, and so for segment A I have to give 10k back to the market. For segment B I have to give back 50k to the market. And for both segment A and B I have 100 people only to get this money out, because whatever I will be getting from the market I will give back to the market. So let's say if I have 100 people and I want to give 10k back to them, so I will divide 10k with 100. And for segment B, I have 100 people and I have to give 50k back to the market. Then I have to give divide this 50k amount 100 people. So for segment B, the premium would be higher. So what I mean here is, in insurance business or in whatever business where risk is involved, if let's say high risky customers are coming to your segment, then you have to increase the premium, or you have to increase whatever initial capex you have to get from your customer. So, and if you are not optimizing this thing, you will getting worse off and worse off and worse off, because if you will not have a because generally those who the customers who are sure that okay they will get they don't have to claim insurance, let's say young people generally, then they will look for the premium where they have to pay less. So they will go for they will go in A segment, and there will be some natural biasing. So if you YouTube this, so I'll not go much in detail about it, but there is a phenomena of natural biasing also. Then once a good customer will go in, if companies are not optimizing this, then they are creating natural bias for their customers, and that's negative for them. So I want to talk about one of my projects where I have worked on analytics, and I have find out. I think that was not a very rocket science, but very simple exercise. What we did was, for one of the European market, we have to launch our one of the products. So we were launching a drug. So for that drug, we have to define what the price should be, at what price we should launch that product. So our question was first whether we should launch this product or not. If we launch, what should be the price of this product? So can you guys tell me how should I approach this problem?
First, we have to see the customer base, and if it's satisfying, then we can launch the product. And then we have to compare that product with the other products which are already in the market, and we have to see their prices, and we have to keep a suitable price for our product, so that we can earn profit.
So I'll summarize what he is saying. So he's saying me that for launching a product, I want to find out whether I have a sufficient customer base or not. If I have a customer base, then I launch a product to get an optimum price, and I'll see what competitors are offering. So let's say there is no competitor in this market. Now what you will do?
There are no competitor in the market.
So you are launching a drug where you are the first launch. You are coming as you are bringing some innovation in the market, and you are the first comer.
Okay, then we have to see, what cost it took to make the product, and we have to launch in the market to make a sufficient profit for it.
So what you are saying is a basic revenue equation. So revenue equals to cost minus profit. So basically what you have to see is, you have to see whatever is your total cost, and you will try to get out, and you will decide, okay, I need a 5% margin, 10% margin, and you will decide, okay, at what price I want to launch this product. Whether your customers would be ready to pay that price or not, that's also critical. And
Then it depends where we are launching it.
So this was our problem. So what we did was, so in pharma generally this thing, so pricing, deciding price based on raw material, it never goes like this, because in pharma the pricing is a different thing, because in pharma you have a drug for 10 years, because once you will lose the patent, then there would be generics in market, and then there would be competitor with a very cheap price and everything. So you have 10 years where you can make money out of it. And at the end of the day, the current raw material for making a particular drug is always cheaper. The money which company invests, it's on the research, that what research they are doing, because generally it take 5 to 10 years doing research on any drug. So here, when we wanted to launch a product, we were sure about, okay, we have a sufficient market. Now we'll see, okay, what customer can pay. So if you guys Google it, there are two techniques. So one is a Geber-Granger technique and one is a Venn-Westendorf technique. Those are the technique where you can reach out to your customers and you can decide what price point you want to, at what price point you want to launch a product. So what is a Venn-Westendorf? So in Venn-Westendorf technique, what you do is you ask 3 price points from your customer. So I'll ask you what is the very reasonable price, at which you will purchase this product, what is the expensive price at which you will purchase this product, and what is the very expensive price where you will not purchase this product. So I will take 3 price points from each customer, and let's say if I have a sufficient number of customers, then I'll float a curve where I'll get a range, that from range A. Yep.
If it's a drugs for some disease, then there is no point that if someone is suffering from that disease, there is no point that he will not buy or she will not buy that product. He or she will have to buy that product. I mean, there is no question that
I got it, man. So first of all, in pharma, when I talk about customers are either physicians or payers. So physicians who prescribe the drug or payers who pay for the drug, because it's not like India, in Europe or in US. Generally, your payers pay for your pharmaceutical bills and everything. So what you are saying is right, but whether payer would be ready to pay for that or not. So because let's say if I am launching something and if I price is at very high price, then maybe most of my doctors won't recommend, because in pharma the second thought is also this, no drug is a drug, life-saving drug. There are always class A, B, C, D, different class of drugs. So it's not like that people will prescribe your drug only because you assume that you are the only cause.
That is a different thing. For that, the company will pay to the doctor. I mean, that is not waste. I mean, if some doctor is prescribing your tablet, someone is paying him to prescribe that tablet. I mean, that is
not necessarily paying them. That's not ethical to be honest with you. But maybe there could be another reasons why a doctor would prescribe to a product. So here, for this market, in European market, the payers were paying for that. So we were checking from the payer perspective that okay, at what price they are okay prescribing this. And you can ask to payers, because payers can respond to those questions. So let's say, and this same philosophy you can apply to any other thing also. Let's say if I have to find out, okay, let's say I am launching a car and at what price, 3 price point the people will, let's say, purchase this car. Expensive price, reasonable price, and very expensive at which people will not purchase. So you will get 2 price point A to price point B. Beyond, let's say if you launch below A, then it's very cheap product in the market and people will think this is very cheap product, let's not go with this. And if you go beyond B, they will think it is very expensive product and they will not purchase it. So for you to launch a drug, you should launch between A to B. So then there is another technique which is a Geber-Granger technique. This is technique like what you can do is I'll say this is a marker. I want to sell you at $10. Would you purchase it? If you say yes, I will reduce the price. I will increase the price by 25%. I'll say I will sell you this marker at $12.5. Would you purchase? If you will say again, then I will increase the price point with another 25 points. And I'll see the maximum price point where you can pay this, where you will refuse to say yes. Let's say if I ask him, I will start with the same price point to everyone. So I'll start with him and I'll ask him whether you will purchase this pen or marker at $10. So you will say no. Then I'll reduce price by another 25%. I'll ask whether you will purchase this marker at $7.5, and I'll find a price point for you also.
That is if you're new to the market and you're the first one with that product. But suppose suppose like a car or a marker, there are many different sellers already. So in that case, how will you decide the price?
So, in let's say in a competitive market also, you can always use these techniques. So, what the benefit would be? So in the competitive market, let's say $10, the starting price point at which I'll check. So let's say I already have this marker in market, and now I want to check whether I should increase the price of this marker or not. So currently I am selling this marker at $10. Now I want to see that whether there is any flexibility in market or not. Let's say if there is a flexibility, I'll check with let's say 100 of the customers. I found that okay, people are ready to pay $12.5 for this market. Then why not I increase the price? Or let's say if I see there are more customers which are ready to pay. So what we'll do is we'll get the price point for each customer, then we'll do the profit maximization and revenue maximization curve, and we'll find out that okay, if there are many customers which are okay to pay $7.5, and if I'm increasing my volume, so at the end of the day my profit is maximizing at 7.5, then I'll reduce my price to 7.5. So this is to check is the current price optimal or not, or whether you can have some flexibility at current price or not. You were saying something?
Saying like, I mean, whenever someone launch a product in the market, they launch it at some price lower than the cost prices, and they make sure that the customer are getting used to the product, and if the customer get used to the product, then they can.
Not necessarily, my friend. So I'll be honest with you. This is the one mindset to launch a product. There are multiple mindsets, and those who want to go into the consulting industry will know that there are many industry experts who have different launch plans for the customer. So I was reading maybe last week only. I was reading an article. So if you guys are aware about Apple has raised, so their new iPhone is really costly. So which was costing around 1 lakh rupee. So due to that, I think their overall sales volume has dropped. But if you talk about overall revenue, that has increased. So that could be their strategy, I think. Maybe moving in the market, let's have the niche customers and let's price it at a certain point where they are getting good revenue. And but let's say we don't want a complete market share. Let it be OnePlus who can capture the smartphone market, but we want to capture 20-30% of customers. But let's charge them premium. Because at the end of the day, if I talk about, I'm just giving you an example that OnePlus, and I am not the industry expert in smartphone, but I'm just giving my own insight out of it. That OnePlus is launching a phone at 40,000 and iPhone is launching at 1 lakh rupees. This is 2.5x higher pricing. Now they can afford 2.5x less market share also, and they will have the same revenue at the end of the day. So those are also strategies that maybe you can want to go higher and less customers and getting more revenue. So this is about the project I was talking about. Anything else you guys want to discuss?
Maybe something about EXL.
Sure. So I think I can talk about EXL, but before EXL, I want to spend some time on types of firms which currently are there for you guys. So I can talk about industries, and I can just name few firms which you can Google it. You can try to find out internship opportunities there, and you can see the relevant firms for you, and which may be help for those students who want to explore right now. So for consulting, if I'll say, someone wants to name any top 5 consulting firms in India? MBB. So I think this guy, I think you are really research person, and generally I was not like you, but it's always nice to see people like you. I really appreciate this and the type of knowledge you will have, and it's not about clapping my. मैं वही करता था. सच में मैं भी वैसा ही था. But after 5 years, I'm realizing this knowledge is really important. And I'm not saying don't do what you are doing right now in your room or मतलब अपने लैपटॉप का जो कर लो, Counter Strike खेलो, PUBG खेलो, Chicken Dinner करो, but at least spend some time on researching about your career goal also, because this is the right time, and this time and people will expect from you. So I talk about very small things. So coming on time, punctual, having some soft skills during your interview. These are really important. So, because these are the interview many people. So when I see people from top tier institute, they sometimes lacks on soft skills. Let's say they would be really smart. They will be talking. Let's say if I give them a guesstimates, they are answering those guesstimates. But however, when I talk about let's say soft skills or how they are presenting themselves, they are really lacking on it. But if I talk to let's say some local college student in Delhi, they will be really good in presenting. They will tell their story very well, and that really helps a lot. So because if you guys are smart, you are among top 1%. How about improving your soft skills also? And this is the right time because you can invest 1 year, and once you research about yourself, you will explore about yourself. It will help you to get good, not only good job, but it will help you to network with people. It will help you to know, and you will be more aware about your own decisions. So 5 companies, yes. BCG कुछ बाकी वहाँ पे बोले ना बताओ. EY. Boston Consulting Group, BCG. Bain Consulting Group.
Oliver Wyman.
हाँ सही बोला. So are you guys going anywhere or PHU में आती है recruitment? I don't know. Deloitte आती है off campus. And apart from that, any other consulting firm? So there are many companies. PwC, LEK Consulting, Simon & Kucher. So those are the firms where you can talk about consulting work. Now there are second tier of firms which are consulting. So if I talk about ZS Associates आती है यहाँ पे. So I have worked with ZS Associates. ZS Associates is a consulting firm in the pharma sector. So they are in both the space. They are doing data analytics and they are in consulting firm also. So this is some you guys would learn when you will go into the market that there are firms which are doing consulting, but at the end of the day so those big 4 are management consulting firms. Yes, let's say if someone wants to do data analytics or data consulting, so they will come to firm like EXL, Fractal, or Redness Analytics. So they will come to those firms like, okay, we have a huge chunk of data, we want to do some analytics out of it, we need your consulting there. So those are the data analytics consulting firms. So based on data, they are doing some consulting. And any financial sector firms?
All the big fours do consulting and analytics also.
Yes, they do. So I'm talking about any specific financial sector firms you guys are aware about, which are really doing good financial sector.
BlackRock, Blackstone.
So BlackRock and Blackstone are good firms. So Barclays in itself they are doing good. So one of my friend 2014 only he then did his MBA from IIM and all, and then now he's investment banker at Barclays only at their Mumbai office. So there are multiple firms. So you guys can see more about okay what type of firms are there. So if I have to talk about let's say analytics firm, what type of work analytics firm people do is typically, so I can talk about at EXL what people do is, so we typically have our client at let's say a 1 year associate will be working closely with the client on their business problems. So let's say I can talk about one of the business problems. Let's say if we work for a credit card issuers, so let's say for a top credit card issuers, so let's say if they want to launch a new card, or let's say they want to acquire new customers, so to whom we should give our credit card. So in credit card what happens is similar to insurance, people can use your credit because credit card is an unsecured lending. There is no collateral behind that. So let's say if a customer has a credit card, he is using your credit card and during his bad time he is not paying your debt, then you would incur some losses due to that particular customer. So for a person who is consulting the clients based on let's say analytics, he has to ensure that okay, he is building his policies based on some historical data so that they are acquiring customers who are incurring less losses.
Credit card limit is based on your income.
Income is just one aspect of it. That's a complete separate chapter we can discuss about how to decide a credit card line. So that's an exposure management thing. So like through line assignment, generally people do how to assign a line for a customer. So income is one part of it. Then generally in US there is a FICO score, index, CIBIL score. So based on those score also we decide okay what line I have to assign. I can talk about it if you guys are interested in that. So in terms of analytics, so what all you can do right now I think is there are multiple courses available online, and believe me guys, for you don't have to do courses for certification. So let's say if you want to put on your resume, please don't do any course. If you want to do any SAS course, R course, Python course, do it for your own learning. So and I will say don't do multiple courses. If you do only single course, it will help you to know the in-depth of the data analytics. And if you gain one aspect of it, then you will be good to go. So there is a Khan Academy, if you guys are aware about. There is a Coursera. So on those you will find the courses on regression. You will find the courses on hypothesis testing, statistical testing. Statistics 101. There is a course which talks about numbers, how to play around with numbers and everything. If you guys have any specific question, I can answer those rather than me telling.
As a fresher who is joining your company, what you see in what qualities he should or she should have?
I think one foremost thing is the dedication, because I think I can teach everything to anyone if he is dedicated. Let's say if person is dedicated to his work, I can teach him everything. Let's say if dedication is there, and the add-on skill sets which I look forward to is it's problem solving skill set. It's a broad subject, problem solving, and how to define those problem solving. It's about how he is approaching a problem. So you guys must be aware that people ask puzzles and guesstimates during interview. Does anyone have any idea puzzles क्यों पूछते हैं, guesstimates क्यों पूछते हैं? So to check there how they are approaching a problem. So for any guesstimates, इतना तो पता होगा सबको कि no one is interested in the final number. It's all about how you are approaching that problem. What all factors you are considering in. So let's say if I talk about how many autos are there in Varanasi, or let's say if I say how many pizza Domino's sales every day, let's say from Sigra store. So for that I don't need the number, final number. I need what all factors you can chip in, because whenever you are solving any problem, or let's say you are pulling your data or you are looking insights, you have to find out okay what all possible ways could be. So for example, let's say sales is increasing. What are the possible reasons for increasing sales? And if a person who is good at a particular estimate, that person will also think through it, okay, why sales is increasing, or he will go in depth. He has that caliber. So to check that caliber, I think people ask estimates during interviews. Any other question? Any questions from last minute? देख लो तुम लोगों के टाइम में कुछ भी पूछ लो, फायदा हो जाए तो 1 घंटा तो निकल ही है.
During the internship sessions, what I experienced was that most of the analytics companies that come here for recruitment majorly focus on guesstimates and the way you approach the problem, and not the actual data analytics skills. Means that only a intermediate level of skill is sufficient for that purpose. So that was what I wanted to ask from you, that if we constantly work upon our data analytics skills continuously and appear for the interview or the selection procedure, I think it won't, personally I feel so that it won't.
So I'll tell you one thing, to be very honest with you, so the data analytics techniques are something which you can't learn and we can't expect from you, because you are from an engineering college and you are not doing masters in business analytics from here. So if you were doing, then I would expect बंदे को आता होगा analytics, but from you that expectation is not right. So that's why we look for guesstimates and puzzles. So and it's better to have that analytical mindset rather than knowing one particular language. Let's say if someone knows R, it's good, but maybe I don't use R, I use SAS, or less I use Python. So it's more about how generic that person is, how much analytically that person is smart, how much good he is at let's say solving puzzles or guessing maps. So that's a good thing. So guys, I want to talk one more thing. So apart from finding jobs, these days one more thing is really cool in the field of data analytics, that is doing business analytics course from foreign universities. So there are many seniors from BHU who are currently pursuing or who have done their business masters in business analytics. So people can just give GRE or GMAT exam and they can find out the courses, and maybe after 1 year of experience or 2 years of experience, you can go and you can do business analytics courses or machine learning, masters in machine learning, and those courses are really having a good weightage in top tier consulting firms, and even that in top tier product companies also. So Google, Facebook, all their data functions hires from those colleges only. So those are also options for you. Any other questions?
इंग्लिश कैसे होती है सर, मतलब इंग्लिश कितनी जरूरी है?
I think it's all about language, and so you have some thought in your mind. You have to communicate. So now, whether it's English or Hindi, so English is important. So I'll not tweak this answer. It's important. Now, how to improve it? So it's the best way is to communicate in English with your peers. So I remember when I was in third year, I used to do with my friends. There are two best friends of mine. One is Pradeep, here he's sitting, and there is another guy, Bansi. So we all three were from Rajasthan, and it was really difficult for us to speak in English. So because the culture was not like that, or maybe we started from a different community where the English was not that of priority. So but we tried that, okay, let's try to speak in English, and once we will start speaking in English, and we will improve, and that's really important. So I'll tell, depending on your domain, it may vary, but let's say if someone wants to do consulting, English is really important, and the best way is to speak in English with your peers. The second thing is start thinking in English. Let's say if you think in Hindi and you will try to translate, then it will take too much of time. And it's very subconscious thing. What I have told you, you have to experience it, because there is a complete thought process. And if you start thinking in English, it will be very easy for you to communicate in English. So that's really tough. But if you will practice, and I'll tell you, and you also have noticed this, कि अगर तुम 3 हफ्ते या 4 हफ्ते continuous English में बातें करोगे, it would be very easy. It would be you would be very fluent. You don't have to use, you are not giving a TED talk to someone, so you don't have to use very cliche words, or let's say very unique words. It's all you have to communicate your thoughts when you would be working. So it's very easy to develop, I think, in 2-3 months of time. Any other question? तो कोई फॉरेन इंटर्नशिप पे जा रहे हैं? कोई भी इंटर्नशिप कर रहा है? अभी तक किसी की इंटर्नशिप फाइनल हुई है? आप लोगों ने थर्ड ईयर के कौन कौन है? सेकेंड ईयर? तो आप लोग समझ में क्या करोगे सेकेंड ईयर वाले? तो आप लोग you guys have a good time, so maybe, so why I'm talking about the foreign internship, so that's it. I was talking to Anmol, and that's a really nice way of investing your time and exploring, because if you will explore a country, let's say for 2 months, 3 months, you will get to know more about the company, how businesses work there, what opportunities are there. Apart